Hi everyone! If you want to know what it takes to become a great property manager, you came to the right channel. The great property manager is a skill that you have to constantly improve. If you can't commit to become a great property manager, then better not do it at all. I get it, it's impossible to reinvent the wheel. But you shouldn't. The number one thing that will make you stand apart from your competition is your commitment to greatness. And that's something that one should apply at everything in life. We live in a world where we have a lot of competitors. The offer is big, the demand is big as well. So in order to stand apart from your competitors, you have to commit to greatness. No matter if you're just starting, you have to treat your business like it's $1 million business. You should have systems and processes and high standards of conducting yourself and your day-to-day tasks. I'm Lavinia with Top-Notch Property Management, and today I will share some tips on how to be a great property manager. First of all, you have to be professional, but approachable. Nobody really wants to talk to a very stiff, strict property manager. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't apply all your rules and regulations that are already highlighted in the lease agreement, but you definitely have to find ways to be approachable. You have to make people that deal with you, be that your tenants or your clients, the owners of the property that you represent, you have to make them feel like you care, and you should care, absolutely. If you want to be the greatest at anything, you have to care. So, in order to show that you care, you have to be a good listener. Be curious, ask questions. Nobody really wants to sit around and listen to you, but everybody wants to vent out their worries, tell their stories, talk about themselves. People discover that that's one of the best things that people like, is to talk about themselves. So, you should know how to be able to do that. Direct the conversation towards their needs, their fears, their hobbies, their likes, their dislikes. Have the right forms in place. Make sure they're updated. Make sure they're up to your state requirements. If you don't have all the answers, it's okay to say, I will get back to you with a more accurate answer. You don't have to rush. They will actually appreciate to see that you are willing to do the research and make sure you come back with a precise answer. Develop systems and processes. Those are very important from the very beginning. No matter how big is your company, if you have 2-3 properties, or you have thousands or hundreds of properties, it all comes down to having the right systems in place. That's how you can scale and still have a private life. Be organized. And if that's challenging for you, maybe you have to hire an assistant that is more neat and organized than you. It's no shame to know your weaknesses, acknowledge them, and delegate other people who are more skillful than you to do certain tasks. Make sure your Make sure your bookkeeping is up to date, and make sure you have that process in place. When offering a property to lease, you have to be sure that everything is up to high standards, because that way you will attract a high quality tenant, and you want those tenants in your properties because they will treat the property like it's their own. When you screen the tenant, make sure you have a variety of them, because you'll be able to choose the right fit for the property. Also, when you screen them, check their income, preferably is 3 times higher than the rent. The job stability, you want a tenant who's committed to a long-term job. You don't want them hopping from a job to another and not being able to pay the rent. And check the credit score. It shouldn't be lower than 600. You can't have a perfect credit score, because probably they would apply for a loan and buy their own property. So not having a great credit score, it's what's pushing them to rent. Some of them they just prefer the stress-free life of not really having to care about your own property, and then it's easier to move around when you rent. You also have to check their rental history. Make sure there are no evictions, because that will repeat for sure. It's unlikely people to change 100% and become extremely responsible overnight, or even over a long period of time. If you want no risks, make sure there are no evictions in their record. Also, be sure to check the reviews of the previous landlords. We want to have positive previous reviews, obviously. Know the fair housing laws. Those are very important. You have to make sure, and I know it's a lot of you have to, but it is a business after all. And if you don't follow these rules, you will end up having issues, and you might be sued later on, and that's not something that you want to do at any stage of your business. So try to avoid those things, and do not discriminate based on race, color, religion, sex, handicap, familial status, disability, or national origins. So make sure you don't take the conversation towards that direction. And now that we're talking about it, I know that you're all asking, who's this lady with this weird accent? You can all take a guess and send your guesses in messages, emails. I will link my email, or in comments down below. It'll be actually fun to see what you guys think about, and to see if you will actually guess the right option. Let's see that. Anyway, but don't take this guess with your future tenants because you don't want to have any future issues with them blaming you that you did not accept their application because you asked about their origins, and you're probably discriminating against that. So this shouldn't be part of your conversation with a tenant. You can have that conversation with me in the comments down below. Okay, be vigilant when it comes to your leases, contracts. Make sure you will state all the rules and regulations that will stay at the core of your relationship and communication with the tenant. Everything that is written on paper will be supporting your cause in case the relationship doesn't go as it should have been. And so make sure you have your leases up to the legal standards according to your state. And I'm sure I wanted to say something else, but let me think for a second. Okay, be firm with your rules and regulations. Don't bend. That's the last advice. Don't bend, because it will harm your business, and you will train your tenant that he is allowed, or he can get away with certain delays, and you don't know, maybe like that he will have a behavior that will end up making you have to file for an eviction, and then there you go, you harm your business. Now you have to file for the eviction, you have to pay thousands of dollars for that process, and then the tenant will have at least 10 years of bad record and he will have a hard time finding another lease. So, as sweet as you think you are as a person, and I understand, because it's really hard not to bend when people come with their hardships at you. It's hard not to empathize and understand them and give them second chances, but on the long term it will affect your business and it will affect their lives. As much as you would want to have a friendship relationship with your tenant, you should still be firm when it comes to bending rules and apply late fees or any other penalties that are needed. Don't just let it go. It will set a pattern for your tenants to misbehave in the future, and the other tenants, if they find out about you bending your rule with one tenant, will have the same expectations. So just stay out of that issue. You don't need that. Anyway, having a business is complicated enough. You have a lot of things to focus on. Last thing you need is to deal with adults that are not so mature and responsible. You do your part. Make sure you listen to them, advise them what they have to do properly, send them the notices that you need to send, call them, email them. You always have to have written proof in case you will need it to defend yourself later on. So, it's great that you have a great personality and you want to be friendly and you want to build a bridge, a friendship between the tenants and you, but there has to be a limit, and that there where professionalism will kick in. You still have to be professional. Alright guys, so I hope you are enjoying this video. If so, please hit the thumbs up below this video, share the video with some friends, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to hear more tips about how to be a great property manager. This is Lavinia with Top Notch Property Management, and here below you will have linked my email in case you need any other advices or you need to reach out to a property management company that has high standards to take care of your property like it's their own. Until next time, have a great day!